Okay. Hey guys, sorry that I couldn't be here today. My kids have a doctor's appointment, so we're just recording the video from earlier this week. So first of all, these are brand new oil pastels. I'm expecting that they look this new when you see them on Friday. Okay? See how nice and organized they are, and they're all in the correct spot? That is the expectation. If you cannot handle that, that's fine. You're welcome to use these ones. So you will lose the privilege of using the nice new ones, and you will get the junky old ones. So I'm expecting when I come back on Monday that these look this neat and organized, and that there aren't any on the floor or in other places. Okay, so oil pastels are a type of crayon that are oil-based instead of wax-based. So like your Crayola crayons are going to be wax-based. These are oil. And oil means, oil means that it's going to blend nicely. So with your eye, I'm going to do two very different eyes today to kind of show you some tips. And otherwise, you're just going to have to all do experimenting to figure out what's going to work best for your own picture. Okay? So this one in particular that I did as a sample the other day was this, I don't know, some sort of wolf or husky or something. And you'll notice inside of the eye there are different colors of blue, right? So there's a deeper blue, a lighter blue, the deeper blue again, and then there's even a little tint of blue in the black part of the eye. So we want to try to get that shading, okay, that gradient that's there. With oil pastels, it takes a little bit of layering and blending. You can blend with the crayon itself, you can blend with your finger, you can blend with a Kleenex. I want you to play around with it and see what works best for you. So if this one were mine, I would, make sure that the line along the edge is nice. Now, oil pastels do not erase very well. If you want to erase, your best bet is to kind of scratch it off with your fingernail and then just color over it. They're not erasable. Okay, so then next I have a lighter shade of blue. So what would I have to mix with blue to get a lighter shade of blue? White, thank you. Why don't you come stand right back here so that you can listen and be respectful. So I'm going to just take my white oil pastel, and it is going to get blue on there, and that's fine. If you end up with one that has like other colors on it, you can just wash it off by coloring with it, if that makes sense. So if your oil pastel is dirty, it's still usable. Not necessary. So do you see how just by coloring with the white right next to the blue and kind of pulling into the blue, I'm already starting to get some of that light blue color. And when I look at this, I do see some streakiness to it. So it doesn't need to be perfectly blended. Okay, and then I would go back into a bluish color. So I like to outline, kind of like, when you color in a color book, sometimes you kind of outline the shape first. And I like to layer when I work. I do a little, go back and forth, do a little. Okay? So that's going to give you some of that look. Now remember, you can...
Trying to read, I can't see.
I can use my fingers. If I had a Kleenex, I could use a Kleenex to kind of smudge it together. Okay? So that's how you can do some blending. You can also, I'm just going to do a little here, you could just color down with a lighter color. Anthony, knock it off. And then I can color a darker color right on top of it and blend them together. Okay? So that's another way to blend. With the hair, on something like this, you have a lot of white colored hair. You do need to draw white on your white paper. I know that seems silly, but because you do have some dark colors in there, you need to get the white on there too. So I'm going to draw some of that white fur, which you can't even see in person, much less on the video. But then when I go back in there with some of the black, it'll kind of start to blend in with some of the white. So I could go back with my white again. And you see how then I get a nice blended gray color. And I almost am making those lines kind of longer and softer looking by layering between the two colors. Whatever fur you have, you need to go in the direction that the fur is growing. So here it's going this way. Here it's starting to curl and go downward. Over here it curls over the eye. Okay, so that's a little bit of how I would start on an animal like this, and then I'm just going to do one other animal with more feathers, although this looks kind of fuzzy like fur. You really need to look at what colors you see, and you're not going to find those exact colors. So for this owl, it's got some yellows, some browns, some tans, some orangish colors. So I got a variety of different colors out to use. And then to get some of this look where there's a lot of different colors, I probably would start with a little bit of white down. I'm not drawing where my eye is. I'm just going to do a little sample over here to show you. So I could start with some white. I might add a little yellow in places. And notice once again, I'm going in the direction that the feathers are growing. I might add a little orange. There's not as much orange visible, but it's there. Add some browns. And just kind of keep layering it up like this, okay? You can, once again, smear together to get a background color because it's not all see-through to white. If you have an animal that has more scales to it, or this doesn't have scales, but the skin is very wrinkly, you need to try to get some of those dark colors in there and the light. So really look at where, like say I was doing this area right here, so there's kind of a wrinkle here. There's some lighter brown on one side of it, right? And then in this like crevice area where it goes inward, there's a shadow with some darker brown. Okay, it makes a shadow. And then over here, I have some lighter brown again, or some regular colored brown, I guess. So this is going to give you a look where it's going to have shadows. Yes?
Some of it's because of the lights on, it's because the sun's shining on it.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, the part that's the brightest is where the sun is shining on it or the light is, and then the parts that are inward are going to be in a shadow. Okay? So while I'm not there, guys, just do your best. Get as much done as you're comfortable doing. Feel free to take some practice paper from over by the cutting board, like the stuff that's already been cut. There's some random pieces that are strange sizes. Take some of that and practice some of the spaces that you're not comfortable with so that when you go on your final paper, you have a good plan in mind. Okay? Thank you.